Stay with us.
Providing 360 degrees of information and entertainment. Reloaded for today's Nnaji.
Ray power, ray power,
Ray power,
ray power, ray power.
Nigeria's original independent radio station.
Ray power.
Yes, no.
Sorry.
I'll miss you.
Sure.
I'm moving. Is that maybe
Providing 360 degrees of information and entertainment. Reloaded for today's Nnaji.
Ray power, ray power,
Ray power,
ray power, ray power.
Nigeria's original independent radio station.
Are you looking for ways to save, invest, and earn more money? Do you want to know what financial regulators are saying and how their policies affect you? Then join Moneyline on radio today and Thursday from 1:30 p.m. on Radio Power 125 FM. Moneyline on radio. The financial
Send
Hello and welcome to another edition of Morning Line on Radio. I am Nancy Nnaji. It's been quite a while. I hope you all have been keeping safe. It's been quite a while because, you know, the whole world is battling with combating COVID-19 pandemic. So wherever you are, I hope you are keeping safe. Money Line on Radio is a special program that educates you on the vital things you need to know about the business world and financial investments. It's not just about making money, but knowing how to spend the money, knowing how to make the money, knowing how to spend the money, knowing how to invest the money, and also knowing what the business environment is about so that you can better guide yourself, make good decisions. That's what this program is about. Today we'll be looking at the impact of COVID-19 on businesses, especially on small-scale businesses in Nigeria that make up about 84% of businesses and provide 96% of jobs. We know that the great lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic has adversely affected the MSME subsector, and the lingering impact has left many small businesses struggling for survival. Some small businesses have actually also closed shop. Most business owners are still trying to figure out the next step, what they need to do, because their regular business routine has been affected. Many now have to also work from home. Some have had to lay off their staff. With cash flow, sales and revenue declining, how can you as an entrepreneur, a small-scale business owner, handle the murky waters of this crisis? How should you also handle your workforce at this point, especially as some of us can now work from home? There is also the issue of accessing financing, palliatives from government if they are still existing, to cushion the impact of this pandemic, what you need to know and what is required to assess some of these palliatives. These are some of the issues we'll be looking at today and profile workable solutions for you, our listeners out there. My guest, Titi Ojo, is a business consultant and an entrepreneurship development practitioner with professional experiences in various sectors. She will be joining me shortly for a conversation on these matters after this time out. So let's quickly take a break. When we come back, we will continue the discussion properly. Don't forget, it's also a phone-in program. We'll read out those numbers later. Let's quickly take this break.
Are Are you looking for ways to save, invest, and earn more money? Do you want to know what financial regulators are saying and how their policies affect you? Then join Moneyline on radio Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Ray Power 100.5 FM. Moneyline on radio. Be financially savvy.
All right, welcome back. You're still on to Repa FM. My guest is joining me right away, Titi Ojo, business consultant and the founder of Idea Factory. I like that, Idea Factory. Welcome, Titi. How you doing?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure seeing you again after a while.
After a while, it was the last time we saw was in March.
Yes.
So as if COVID-19 pandemic was waiting. Let us finish what we were in Lagos together. Let's finish the Lagos thing, and we just went on a total shutdown.
I tell you.
Let me start by asking, it's a lot of us didn't, in fact, people around the world did not prepare for this.
Yeah.
Would businesses have prepared for this kind of
I don't think any business did at that time when COVID came. Of course, we've heard about COVID from 2019 actually, because of course China. But we're not just paying attention. I guess we thought it's China's headache. Yes. Not knowing that all of us will carry this headache eventually. So everybody was just doing their own business and everybody was just looking at it. Probably there were a few, because I know that a couple of people that they kind of project, when they see issues, they quickly do their own projection, like, okay, if this thing reaches Nigeria, let me just prepare. Maybe there are a few like that, but the majority weren't prepared for this.
We're not prepared. For businesses that were caught up with this pandemic, like I said during the intro, a lot of businesses have closed shop. A lot of businesses right now are really struggling. Small businesses, even as, I don't want to say as small as salons, hairdressing salons are struggling, barber's shop, shops where they sell perhaps some kind of things that even without the pandemic, people would have gone in there. How can those businesses survive?
That's a tough question. It's a tough question, but I can share a few experiences. Although during the pandemic, of course, there's a lot of fear, and people, even if I say I want to come and serve you at home, still, I remember the lady that does my nails. She's been calling me and I'm not just responding. So that, just stay where you are from now. Let's stay clear. The salon next door that would naturally have gone in, I stayed clear to a certain extent. So my house helper has become my hairdresser. Just do the plating. I can carry it that way till this is over. It's a tough one, really. It's a tough one. But in the face of the pandemic, also, I've seen small businesses that kind of restructure their business processes. So I have like 1 or 2 examples, and there's one that comes very quickly to mind right now. She couldn't open her shop, of course, in the market, and then she started doing home deliveries. And in fact, she's almost been known now for the home deliveries than the original business. And recently, when she now sent messages to us and said, "Oh, right now I'm beginning to open my shop, so if you want to come to the shop in Gariki Market, please know that we are open for now." But she took this as a challenge, really, and she looked at what is it that people might need now. So she was able to quickly, redesign something that could work within the pandemic. But the fact remains that it's not everyone that can do that. It's not everyone that's flexible. It's not everyone that has the energy to just switch and get it well. And one thing I noticed about her is that she has built good clientele over the years. She's built relationships. And I think that's one thing I would tell every small business should know. You need to build relationships, because at a time like this, those are the people that will probably save you or rescue you. I was taking a training recently for some business owners, and two people there to mention what he did during the pandemic that caught me. A guy does Uber. He said during this Uber, of course, nobody was taking taxis. But then he has a database of his clients, and that was quite impressive. So he started doing drop-off pickups for them. He started doing home deliveries, and he was able to survive. Then the third person, his own example was even mind-blowing. He said he's a fashion designer, he sews clothes. So what he decided to do during the pandemic was that he knew that people were not going out, and probably they needed clothing that would be suitable for home. And he felt that there would be no light, and they can get very hot, and they probably would like some kind of easy clothing. He started making those kind of clothing, and he started putting it on Instagram. He said he got customers ordering. It was a top, like a shirt, and it was just conducive wear for you while you're at home in this pandemic. If you wear it, you won't be sweaty if there's no light. Because he felt that, well, people can go out really, and they need to be comfortable. So he switched. Of course, he's still using his machines and all that, but he's creating something new out of his profession, which is tailoring. And I found that very, very instructive. Not many might be able to get over this quickly, because there are some of our small businesses that their total livelihood depends on that business. And if nobody comes to patronize, there's really no way out of it. But thank God, really, I think things are easing out right now, and some of them are beginning to open shop again. That takes me back to the issue of customer relationship. Because if you never really built relationship with your customers, some of them have been poached by other people right now. Some of them have moved on. Some of them have found alternatives to the same thing you're providing. And so telling them to come back may be difficult. But some will remain and say, okay, when COVID is over, I shall be back because I enjoy your service. I love what you do. So that's why I'm saying that's why I'm seeing some of the issues that are playing out even now, that a bit of ease is coming in and people are opening back their businesses. And I've shared 3 examples actually. Maybe I should share one more. So there's this lady, she's been doing, well, she's known, I won't mention her name, but if you go online, you'll find her. And I asked her in the face of the pandemic, how are you coping with staffing, because she has a lot of staff. They're fully into production, the package. Now our products are even on Amazon, so she's gone that far. But then I was like, how do you now cope with this during the pandemic, where you have a market that's even international and not local? And what about your staff? How do you pay them now? They're not making much money. She said, well, the thing is, I've had a conversation with my staff. This period, I cannot pay you up to the amount I can pay you. And they've all agreed to stay. And I was like, interesting. So she's cutting their pay by like 60%. And she has told them, you know what, this is just a phase in our business. Very soon we shall be back on our feet. And really, that was also instructive for me because it means that she has built a very good relationship with her team. She has built a good relationship so that they've also bought into the vision. She might be the owner of the business, but her staff also share the same vision with her. So when she's going through the crisis, they went through the crisis with her. And when they're getting back on their feet, they will all get back on their feet together.
How about for those that can do that? For those that do not have those kind of relationships? Because I was talking also with a big entrepreneur here in Abuja. She's a woman. She owns a very big salon here in Abuja. And she was speaking just a few days ago. And she was actually also sharing with me, she can lay off all her staff. Right. But her strategy this time is that whatever they work, whatever they bring in, whatever you do. So it's not about like your salary is anymore or your percentage. So it says, if you make 10,000 naira, we share the 10,000 naira together. So what that means also is that it gives you that incentive, even as a worker for that woman, to bring in more clients, because your livelihood also depends on it. I hope our listeners are catching some business ideas.
From what you just mentioned, there's something called flexibility. And it's something I preach everywhere, that you should be flexible. Some people are so stuck with one thing. So I do trainings a lot. And recently I did a training for the enterprise. And it was on managing a crisis, as in SMEs, how they can get around a crisis. And of course, there's a terminology that has been very prevalent within this period, which is VUCA, V-U-C-A, which says that we're living in a VUCA world, and V will be a volatile world, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And it's saying that because you live in that kind of system, there's nothing that is certain. You should always, expect anything
can happen.
Can happen. And that is where the flexibility comes in. Like, okay, something how can I adapt quickly?
So it may be COVID-19 pandemic today, tomorrow it could be something else.
It could even be a flood.
Yes, it could be a flood.
It could be a flood.
Something else.
So that flexibility is key. Being able to adapt very quickly. I know it's not the same for everybody. Some people, their flexibility quotient is 0 really. But maybe it's the risk factor too.
But the question is,
they find it difficult too.
There are many small businesses that are very informal. How do they quickly adapt, and how can they be flexible? For example, there are carousel by the roadside that depends on the people commuting on that road to buy akara from her. And she sells that akara, she's training her children on it. How do you expect her? Is she the one that will be doing delivery?
I keep saying...
But she can actually also do delivery.
Well, I kept saying that, there's this one I wanted to use here. Well, maybe I'll use it. I don't think life is not fair. Life is not fair. And some businesses will quickly adapt, while some cannot. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it's just the way it is. But also it builds on whoever it is to be able to think quickly, okay, what other options do I have under this situation? I take a cost of flexibility, and that tells that under this circumstance, what can I do now? And it takes deep thought as well. It takes deep thought. It takes reaching out to someone and say, this is my predicament, what can you advise? So I also see those that don't do that. You see, it's like the world is crumbling and you're just there, let it just crumble. And you see those that are reaching out to other people and saying, you know what, this is what I do. And it's not a difficulty to reach out to someone to advise you. But there's some that just, they're just those that don't do it. They don't. So it's really about reaching out for help. So in some cases, this is what I do, this thing has affected me. What can I do? And do you have any suggestions? You'll be shocked. And the multitude of advice, you'll find someone that will hit.
Titi for assistance. I don't mean monetary assistance now, ideas assistance, so that we can at least help you navigate through this crisis. 0818427027. You can call that number 08184270. The other question also will be, there's been some initiative by government to assist businesses. So how do people get that? Okay, but we have a caller on the line. Hello? Oh, okay, the call has dropped. Please do call us again. 0818427027 or 0818427026. Okay, so for those that are listening and perhaps want to take advantage, I actually said something. I hope it's not late because something like that has been announced like 3-4 months ago. A lot of people have latched onto that. And how do people also take advantage of some of government's initiatives?
Okay, so when I saw the initiatives of governments, especially for this COVID-19, trying to cushion some of the effects and the palliatives and all that, I think that's a very commendable initiative. I, for one, had worked with it. There's someone that reached out to us, like I have a team, and we're thinking, how can I take advantage of this? And actually, I went through the process of trying to get the documents, fill in the forms online. So there's a level of work that goes into it anyway. There's no money that is for free. You still have to put some.
And there are loans. They are not.
Oh yeah, there are loans.
There are loans.
Yes. So really, I always say that if you're going to take a loan, your ability to pay back, you have to look at it very critically, but I see that the COVID-19 grants, the loans, they are flexible. They are more flexible. The interest rates are more flexible. They are not unlike the commercial banks. And then you pay over, I think, 4 years thereabouts. Because I tried to do the particular one of the National Microfinance Bank. And of course, at the point, I realized I was also suspended for a while. I'm not sure if it's been also suspended now.
No, it's been.
So it was suspended for a while. That was the point where we put all our documents. But I think it's a fantastic idea. You could get up to 10 million. I was told that this person had a farm and he had other sources of income. Because when we were doing the conversation, I'm like, we're going to put this for you, your financial statements and all that. We need to know how do you want to service this loan. Because that's important to me, particularly. I've seen those that have owed loans and they had to pay with their houses and their cars and all sorts. And they lost sleep completely. But when they started out, they felt they could service the loans. So these were critical things. And of course, my client has other ventures, and we were able to do a couple of things that we knew was able to pay back, looking also at its financial status. So those are critical things you have to look at. Because I noticed in this part of the world, once you hear loan, you just want to go and get it. Whether you can pay or not is not even...
It's free money.
And you see, a lot of people don't pay back government loans, I hope you know.
Yes, they do.
And it's not good.
It's not.
It's not good.
It's not good. We should also be very careful at this time, since everyone has a BVN. So there's nowhere you will loan to. Because if you get a loan now, you have your BVN, except you don't do any transaction with any financial institution. Yeah, so I needed to put this out. So for those of you thinking that let me go and borrow from government and run,
It's over now.
You.
I
Yes,
tell you.
because you have a BVN, and
Yes.
that BVN is unique to you.
Mhm.
That you share among banks that you bank with and all of that. So if you do business, you run, they'll just hold you. There's no except you go under your pillow and be hiding
That's it.
money. You know, so
If I permit me to say this, we have credit bureaus in Nigeria,
Yes.
CRC and some
yes,
others.
yes,
So they have your record,
yes.
and your credit history is
Yeah.
used also in availing loans to people
Yes.
right now. So those that feel like can take and run, sorry, your record is somewhere. All other record,
Yes.
shall
To chase you.
That's it.
Okay, the numbers to call 081842700287 or 081842700265. Am I calling it too fast? Okay, let me call it again. 0818427028. 081842700265. If you like the nature of it, how can we be of service to you?
Yes.
How can we serve you better? All right. Titi, just before we go, because we have just a few minutes to do.
All right. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Where are you coming from? Jamming network. Or is it the weather? You know, in Nigeria.
Always have an
We
excuse.
just have an excuse for something. All right, the numbers to call 0818700287. I know that there are a few people have been trying to reach us. You can also reach us 081842700265. And let's try as much as possible to answer your questions. For people that have lost their businesses, what's the next line of action? Well, let's take this call. Hello. It's afternoon where we are. Are you? Okay, where are you coming from? We can hear you. Go ahead, please. Where are you coming from?
I actually want to contribute on the program paternity of people with their businesses.
Yes, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah, please, I'm a business woman as well. I do in the provision of food costs. So the system actually it cannot be easy at all. It cannot be easy because your government gets details for people to go to maybe that has our stuff in blue tie or the estate. Those people that normally patronize us normally take advantage of those 3 days. They'll just go and come their house and we'll just sit down and listen. Like it has been horrible. Trying to keep kids right down hard for
Yes. I think that's a very vital one. When the markets were opening 3 times a week, a lot of us would go to the market and store our stores. It's for those that had the means, you know, but now I think the markets, at least the major markets that I know, are opening every day. So there's that leeway for transacting business every day, but in a safe manner.
Right.
Yeah. Do we have another call so that we can go to the call? But meanwhile, I was asking the question about, for those that have lost their jobs, those that have lost their businesses right now, that is really starkly clear. That I don't have a business anymore because of COVID-19. What kind of advice?
Okay, so quickly, there's something that's going on in my mind. I just don't want to do that. So it's about multiple streams of income. So I just want to drop that word. That if you put all your earnings in one basket, if something happens to it, you're on your own when it happens. So that's one. For the other part,
Hold on, Titi, we have a call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, please. Who are we speaking with and where are you calling from? So who is speaking? which loan are you speaking about? Because there are a lot of loans. Okay, is it the COVID-19 loan? Okay, let's address that quickly. I think we've gotten the myth of what you're saying. Titi, you want
Okay, yes. Like I mentioned, I tried getting something for a client of mine, and I ran into that part of the suspension. And I think when the windows was open, when the advertisement was made, a lot of applications were received. And it was just so much that they probably needed to suspend to treat what was on ground. That's the feedback.
And I know they're still treating
Yes,
now.
yes, it's a whole lot. It's like when you open an opportunity and expecting 1,000 people, and then you receive 1 million. Then you are drained in it, and the number of staff has not increased in the bank. I think that was the reason to treat what is on ground, and I believe that when that is over, they would open it. That's what I think.
I also think that too, because the information I also have is that a lot of people applied, even more than the money that was budgeted by government.
That's it.
So you can imagine what will happen. I'm not speaking for government. Obviously, I don't work for them. But I'm just thinking lines that. But we also saying something about streams of income.
Yes. So I talked about, but before, I don't know if this man is still on. There are other loans that exist, so you might want to explore that.
Yes.
There's the Msmes funds, they're still there, and you just. And after they help you with the packaging. So I'm also moving my clients to some of those ones. And I'm also a trainer for one of their clients. So I understand that works well. Now when I talk about multiple streams of income, what is activity into one single thing, then if something happens to that thing, then you are really stuck with it. So it's also important to look at your revenue streams. And it's really a sign of growth as well. I've worked in an SME space for a long time, and I've noticed that our SMEs don't scale up. Really, it's a concern I have. The same SME you worked with 10 years ago, it's still at the level you've left it. Like, what's really wrong here? So a lot of SMEs don't just grow beyond. Yeah, I know they have challenges, of course. We also need to work at it in that respect. Now, for those that have problems that they cannot get over this, well, I think it might be necessary to reaching out. I feel that people like us, for example, want to organize, even if it's for free, get people that have this crisis, then that crisis, so that we can have those conversations. It's very important. It's like,
that's an idea.
And that's what we do at the Deaf Factory sometimes. So anyway, so that they can begin to think differently. Some are just stuck with it, unfortunately, but they need to think through it.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid that's where this conversation wraps up. But before we go today, there's a culture we have where I'll take you through the Naira rule for today. The Naira, our money. The Naira rule for today is, when written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters. One represents danger. So in every crisis, there is an opportunity. Look for that opportunity. We are open for adverts and sponsorship. Please, you can call the number 081 4833 9088. Even though there is a crisis, you can also reach us at moneylinewithnancytv@gmail.com. You can reach us also on www.soundcloud.com/moneylinewithnancy. Don't forget to join this same time, Ray Power, 1:30 to 2 p.m. You can also join us on TV. I'm on TV every day on sister station, AIT, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Be the change you want to see, and don't forget to keep safe. I'll see you all on Thursday. Yeah, bye.